Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'll be trading again with pocket option, and of course I have here another great strategy for the week. Alright, so what I normally do now is that I usually check on my previous video one of the greatest strategy I've actually uploaded in the past. I try to check on them, work on the settings so that it's definitely going to fit on the current market, and this strategy right here I have on the screen is one of them. All right, it's a very easy strategy and a very effective, so I want you guys to stay tuned with me on this one. So the first indicator we're using here is called moving average. So that is our first indicator, and the period right here is 28, where the moving average here is EMA. On the style part here, I actually left the color to be green, which is the main color, and I take my line to be on 2 pixels. So when you're done, you hit save. So that's pretty much what you have to do on the moving average. The second indicator we're using is CCI with a period of 18. All right, and the style right here, I actually take all the line here to be on 2 pixels. So that's pretty much all I did on the style. So when you're done, you hit save. So the last indicator we're using here is called momentum with a period of 13. So we only are going to change the period right here on 13. On the star part, we don't need to touch anything here. It is actually a default setting on the star. So just let the up be green and the down be red, and you hit save. So that's pretty much all we are setting up. So right now, let me put up my currency. Okay, we are doing this on 1 minute. Don't forget that we're doing this on 1 minute. What's it called? Trade time, and the candle time frame we're using here is actually 30 seconds with a Heineken as you can do. All right. So right now, I'm gonna put up my currency here real quick. Like I said, I didn't really not recommend you using OTC market because it's kind of what's it called, manipulative with the brokers. But always make sure that you're using with what's it called, with the normal market, which is normal peers without no OTC on them. All right, so right now let me put this up real quick. Okay guys, I have my peers up. Another thing I want to point out, it seems that I have what's it called, someone actually indicate on the comment section on my last video that the CHF is not really a good peer to trade on. So always make sure that you put this out. I actually checked it out myself and I actually discovered the reason. The what's it called, the peers is not really very strong. It's very lagging in some of the market, even when the market is really great. So let's make sure that you're taking them out with any other peers. All right, so that is just what I want to say, guys. So right now, how this strategy works is a very simple, like I used to say, it's a very simple strategy. All we're just going to look at is very simple. We are looking something out with our moving average. The same thing should occur with our CCI and our momentum, and which I'm going to show you guys when I have the moment. So right now, I'm definitely going to be taking what's it called, my time to analyzing the market. So when I get a good moment, I'll come down and I'll take a trade. Of course, I'm going to show you the moment that I see before I enter a trade and the full details on how this strategy works. All right, so right now I'll be analyzing, guys. So when I say a good moment, I'll come down and take a trade. Okay guys, a good moment here. I'm going to enter a trade on this one. All right, enter a trade on that. Over here, the number one thing we are looking at before we enter a trade with this strategy is a trend. All right, but on this part, it is very different. What you have to see here, the number one thing we are looking at with our moving average, if we are taking a trade to go up, which is the kind of trade I take right now, is to make sure that we have our moving average below the candle we are taking a trade on. Not only below the candle, always make sure that you have your moving average following the trend. As you can see, the moving average actually went down here, but when this on this particular candle here, it starts pulling up in the market. So it is very important. But the most important thing we need to look at before we decide to put a trade is our CCI. Why I said that is that always make sure that you have your CCI in the overbought level. What I mean is that always make sure that your CCI is heading up. It can be from this position. Let me zoom in so we can see. It can be from right from this position or to the top. What I'm talking about is that always make sure that your CCI is very close to the overbought level. So you can see with the money on that. Always make sure that your CCI is very close to the overbought level, or even out of the overbought level line. All right, so always make sure that either it is very close to the overbought level. What I mean by overbought level is this top line here of the CCI. Is your what's it called, this line, the bridge line here is actually really close to it, or out of the line. But the most important is to make sure that it is following the trend. It is actually heading up. All right, so as you can see, right, this position before I actually place the trade here, the market was actually heading up so good, but right now it's actually dropping. If it is like this, it's not a good moment for you to take a trade. if it is like this, it is not a good moment. It's not recommended for you to take a trade, but always make sure that your CCI is very close to the what's it called, to the upper line here, or just out of it, but they must be on the trend. Like what I mean by on the trend, they must be heading up in the market if you are taking a trade. Not only that, the confirmation of our momentum is just to show the color of the trade you are taking out. So if it is buy, your momentum must change to green. If it is red, it must change to what's it called, if you are taking buy option, it must change to green. If you are taking an sell option, it must change to red. But the most important thing we are looking at is our CCI. All right, so I'm going to keep analyzing. So when I get another good moment, I'm going to enter a trade, and of course I'll take my time to actually explain on the CCI very well, because that's the most important thing on this strategy. So right now I'm analyzing again. So when I get another good moment, I'll come down and take a trade. Okay guys, you're having a good momentum here. This is a very good one. Again, let me enter the trade real quick. So as you can see, okay, let me actually explain this real quick. This is what I'm talking about here. So as you can see, our CCI is actually really dropping, but this time around, since we are taking the trade to come down, we need to have the CCI very close to the oversold position, oversold level, like this, the down line here. As you can see, the CCI is actually dropping in a straight line, right? But right now, when it actually hits, it actually bent here. But before you enter a trade, make sure that the CCI is actually on a straight line, like on a what's it called, following the trend. That is very important. Make sure your CCI is following the trend, and not only, don't take a trade when the CCI is in the middle of the when this line is in the middle of the both CCI line here, the overbought and the oversold line of CCI. Always make sure that you take a trade only when you see the middle line, what's it called, this middle line here of the CCI dropped, right? Dropped close to the what's it called, close to the oversold position line of the CCI, dropped, and it's actually heading down on the trend. Not like when it's bent. As you can see over here, it actually bent. As you can see when money on that over here, it's actually bent. Not that when it's bent. Always take a trade when it's actually dropping, just like on this position. All right, when it's actually dropping, it's very important. And of course, you can see on our momentum, it's actually changed to red, like what I said the other time. And over here, our moving average too. This is very important. The two important things is the moving average and the CCI, but the most important thing is this, your CCI. Your moving average too must be heading down with the trend. All right, it must be above if you are taking a trade to come down. Like the other time, when we take the trade to go up, we have our moving average below the candle. So but this time, if you're taking a trade to come, we must have our moving average above it. And not only that, it must be actually heading down on the trend, like it must be following the trend. All right, I hope you understand. So that's pretty much all you have to look at. This strategy is a very great strategy and very simple. If you actually follow all this guideline here, you're definitely going to make a very good profit with this one. So right now I'm analyzing again. So when I get another good moment, I'll come down and take a trade, and of course I'm going to explain better again. Okay guys, a good moment here. I'm going to enter to trade on this. Okay, another thing guys, I really wanted to mention this particular point. I never really checked the previous candle. As you can see, this particular piece is very bad. If you actually check the previous candle, they are very what's it called, on a very unstable market. So I don't really check before I place the trade. As you can see over here, our our CCI actually dropped, which is not supposed to be. But let's just hope this is going to be a good moment. But what I actually see here is that I find a very good moment of assist. I will actually place the trade on this point. As you can see, this is actually went up very good here. So that is what I actually see before I place the trade. And of course, I see that I have a good moment with my moving average below the candle. And of course, I have a good moment too with my momentum. But please guys, always make sure you stay out of this particular what's it called, peers. So let's make sure you check at least the previous trade for like an hour previous trade. If the candle are not really great, okay, as you can see, we lost out on the trade, which is very bad. So please guys, always make sure you put this in mind. If the candle or if the previous candle on this what's it called, is not really great, don't put a trade. Always make sure you have a very stable market. How you know you have a stable market is, so let's make sure that you have a lot of a strong candle in the midst of the what's it called, in the midst of the candle that you want to take a trade on. Always make sure that your candle are very strong, not like this this kind of choppy candle right here. If you're finding a lot of choppy candle on your peers, it doesn't really make sense for you to take a trade on that. As you can see, for a very long time, right from this position, let me actually check this here, right from this from here down to this part, for over like 4 hours we've been having a bad signal. But I think this current candle is getting good. Yeah, this current candle is getting good, but still I'm not going to risk it again. I'm going to pull out the trade, pull out the currency pair. So I'm still analyzing guys. We actually lost out on that, let's keep analyzing. So when I get another good moment, I'll place a trade. Hopefully I'm going to recover what's it called, the loss money. Okay guys, a good moment here. I'm going to enter a trade on that. All right, so over here, what I actually observe is the fact that my what's it called, my CCI is actually going down very strong here. We actually place a position. If you actually check that, our moving average on this point, that what the last few candle here was not really strong, but the confirmation actually happened here. That's the reason why the moving average is actually following the trend. The next candle was really strong. I'm so certain that I'm going to be having I'll be having a great moment with the next candle. So that's the reason why I actually placed the trade here. The confirmation of my CCI is very obvious. Like you can see, it's actually dropping so good on this position, and right here in the position, the momentum signal actually changed to red, which actually gave me go ahead on that point. All right, so guys, let's wait and see. This is actually a very good moment on this one. So I actually placed a trade on this so that I actually recover the money I lost on the last trade I took. A good one there, win the money on that. That's a good one. So guys, right now I'm going to take my last trade. But this moment I'm definitely going to be analyzing the good market. So when I get a good moment, I'll come down and take a trade. All right. Okay guys, a good moment here. I'm going to enter a trade on this one. So as you can see, our CCI2 is following the trend. It's actually heading up right on this position. The momentum actually changed color, so that's the reason why I was even confident that what's it called, the market is definitely coming down. If you actually checked out our moving average, it's actually head up here and it's actually following the trend to come up. So I know that any moment I'll be having a pull down on the market, so that's the reason why I have to pull the trade. So it's actually happening now. So guys, all you have to keep all you have to keep in mind is your CCI. All right, that is the magic here. This is the most important indicator in all the trade indicators we're using here, following by the moving average. All right, make sure your CCI is actually heading up so good. Don't take a trade when there's a bend on the CCI. Don't take a trade when there's a reversal. A little bit of reversal on the CCI can cause a huge problem, because any moment the market can pull back. All right, always make sure that you're taking a trade when you see that your CCI is actually following the trend straight and it's very close to any of the level, maybe the overbought or the oversold level, before you decide to pull in the trade. Is very important. As you can see with the money in the last trade, and always make sure that you have your moving average above the candle following the trend if you are taking a trade to come down, or below it going up following the trend if you are taking a trade to go up. So that is a confirmation you need to see with your moving average, and the momentum too needs to change color. Is very important. The momentum needs to have the confirmation that really the market is actually coming down or going up. So that's pretty much all you have to look at. This is a very great strategy if you actually put them in put everything I said here in practice. It's a very great strategy, and it's very easy. The one thing I love about the one thing I love about indicators, the way I actually place my indicators, so make sure that everybody have access to understand everything I'm saying. That is why I don't usually have a jump pad indicator that will make it difficult for the newbies to understand. I always make sure that I give you a strategy that is very simple to understand, or very simple to use, and at the same time very effective. So that's the most important thing I used to work on my videos. So I hope you like this. Again, if you like the video, please give. I love you guys, and I'll see you on another video.